problem set for lesson 20. First thing I notice is they're not very smart in how they do their checking, are they? No. So I'm just going to put an X through that. So that will remind us we check it a different way. Okay? All right, so the next problem, B, 49 divided by 21. Okay, so what will I skip count by?
21.
Okay, you remember how to do that from yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I noticed that on the exit ticket today, some of the kids didn't skip count and they actually missed the problems. Yep, so I'm asking you to skip count. Plus, what else am I asking you to do? Circle the choice you make, okay?
Yeah.
So which number is closest to 49 without going over?
42.
Okay. So is 7 okay for the remainder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
So what will I highlight here?
2 and 21.
Okay.
Don't you have to check?
Oops. Just about drew my arrow to the wrong one. Okay. So this is really pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a few more of these. Let's take a look at C. Would you skip count by 39s?
Yeah. No.
What would you
40.
skip?
390.
40s, and then subtract 1? So
Yeah.
skip count by, well, let's write the problem down. The 78 divided by 39. So if I round 39 to 40, then I'm going to have to subtract though, aren't I? So instead of 40, what will I have?
39.
39, because it's 40 minus 1. Instead of 80, I'll have 80 minus 2, 78.
78.
Oh, I think I'm done.
Oh, I want one more.
Well, why did I notice I'm done already?
Because you have the same number.
That's right. So a nice little perfect problem.
Yay, no remainder.
Right.
Wait.
How do I check a perfect problem?
39 times 2.
Yep, same way, just no remainder.
I can't see.
Well, you'll have to just figure out a way. No? Okay, do I have a math?
Yeah. Yes.
Gracie, you can just start on D with us, okay? All right, let's look at D. 84 divided by 32. What would you do? Would you skip count by 32s? Yeah, I think that's doable. And we can always add, can't we?
There we stop.
Yeah, that's far enough.
Yeah.
So which number is closest to 84?
64.
Okay. Is 20 okay for remaining? How do you know?
It's because dividend. Divisor.
Divisor. And if
I
you
said
can't,
dividend.
if you can't remember divisor, you can just say 20 is less than 32. Okay? What do I highlight?
2 and 32. 32 and 2.
But let's take a look at E. 77 divided by 29. I mean 25. What should I skip count by?
25.
25s. You know your quarters, right?
Yeah.
So
25.
2 quarters is
50. 75. 100.
good. All right, so which one's closest to 77? And you want to make sure you don't go past 77, okay?
Yeah. Oh.
On F, I don't really know how to count by 17s. So I might have to do a little adding either in my head or on paper, okay?
We can do 20.
17 plus 17 is 34, okay? So then, just a minute, I'm just going to keep adding here. That's 51.
Oh, you stop at 55.
Okay, just a minute. I think I'm going to stop at 68. Now, where do I, like this is my first 17, where's my second one?
34.
Okay, then my third, then my fourth. Okay, so do we have another perfect problem?
Yay.
That's nice. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, this says, when dividing 82 by 43, Linda estimated the quotient to be 2. Examine Linda's work. I like that word, examine. It means to look at it, but look at it carefully, right? Figure out what's wrong with it. And explain what she needs to do next. On the right, show how you would solve the problem. Now just wait on that one, okay? Talk to your group about Linda's work. Table 1, tell me what you talked about.
That.
When you looked at Linda's work, what did you notice?
We saw that 43 times 2 is 86, which is higher than the
Dividend, that's right. So 86 is too large. Did everyone else decide that? Okay. So instead of a 2, what should we try here?
3.
A 1. Okay. So 43 times 1. Go ahead and give that a try and see what you come up with.
Oh, I just learned this classmates.
Look for regrouping when you subtract. Okay, now how do we know if we're right? Because 39 is a pretty large remainder. It's not too big though. How do we know if we're right, Robert?
It's not as big as the.
It's not as big as the divisor, okay? So if we check it, it's probably going to check out. What did Cooper say we could do yesterday? If our quotient is 1, what can we just add together?
43.
43 plus 39. Let's do that just to double check ourselves. Is that what we started with? Yes, it is. Okay. Right, how you doing? Number 3 are these problems I love. And they're on your next test. Okay? So let's take a look at number 3. And as we read through this, we're going to put some things on our paper. Okay? So it says a number divided by 43 as a quotient of 3 with a remainder, with 28 as a remainder. Find the number, show your work. Now, last time we had to come up with a number. What do we call it? It was a variable. So a variable is a letter. Was this before Christmas? No, I don't think so. It was last week, kids. What letter did we? We called it an N. Everybody write a lowercase n. Now it says a number divided by 43. Write that down. Now last week we wrote it going across, but then we had to switch it anyway, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So a number divided by 43 has a quotient of 3. Where do I write my quotient?
On the top.
On the top. And a remainder of
28.
which 28 I could probably write down there, couldn't I? Might want to move it down a little bit though, Mrs. Lewis. There we go. Okay. All right, so here's your hint on how to find the dividend. What do you think you need to do, Amy?
43. 3.
Amy? How do I figure out if this number right here is right in a normal problem?
You need to do 43 times 3 and then add the...
Good. So 43 times 3 is what? 129. And then she said add the remainder.
And you get 157.
Okay, so technically that number should match what's in the doghouse, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's just try it, see if it works. What number am I going to write here?
157.
Now make sure you put the 3 on top of the 7. So when you write the number, everything has to line up, okay? And we said that 3 is the quotient. So 3 times 43, we already know it. What is it?
129.
129. Now subtract. 7 minus 9.
We have
You have to regroup. Good. 17 minus 9. 8. 4 minus 2 is, so where do we write?
Yes.
Yes. The number equals
And equals
157. Okay, now number 4 is kicking it up a notch. All right? I see some smiles out there, so I think this is making you happy. It says, write another division problem that has a quotient of 3 and a remainder of 28. Go ahead and write that down. Now there's only one rule for picking a divisor. And here's what I want you to think about before we answer this. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, right? When I check, what am I checking? Is my remainder what?
Equal.
Lower than your divisor. That's what we're checking, right? Okay, so what's the only rule for a divisor here? If I already know my remainder is going to be 28.
You need to.
My divisor has to be what? Larger or smaller than 28? Larger. So pick any number, Rustin. What?
43.
We already did that. Don't pick the same one as up there.
29.
Rustin, pick any number. And don't say 29.
36.
36. Okay, everybody write it down. Trust me. All right, so how do we figure out the dividend? 36 times 3. Okay, 36 times 3. Don't shout out any answers. And then add my remainder, correct?
Wait, this problem's impossible to get on.
So if this matches, did I do my work right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if this matches, I can put 136. Ugh. Can you quit finishing my sentences, please? As my dividend. Now how am I going to find out if I'm right? Do the problem, right? So what is 3 times 36? 108. Go ahead and subtract. 6 minus 8?
8.
You can't subtract. 16 minus 8?
8.
2 minus 0?
2. Yeah.
Did it work?
Yes.
So what's the only rule when you're coming up with a problem? You already know that the quotient is 3 and the remainder is 28.
Check if
Your divisor cannot be
bigger than
lower
lower.
than your remainder. Your divisor has to be more than the remainder. Okay, let's do the last problem. And then you'll have plenty of time. Exit ticket and Zern. Okay. So this says Mrs. Silverstein or Stein sold 91 cupcakes at a food fair. The cupcakes were sold in boxes of a baker's dozen, which is 13. She sold all the cupcakes at $15 per box. How much money did she receive? Now this is a two-step problem. I want you to talk to your group about what you think you're going to do first. Okay, help me out. Table 6. Table 6. What do you think we should do first?
I think we should skip count.
Okay, well that's close. What problem should I write? First of all, I'm not going to call on you because you're making a seat.
91 times 13.
You're close.
15.
I'm going to divide 91 by 13. Do you agree?
Yes.
Because I've got to figure out how many boxes I need if I can put 13 cupcakes in a box. All right. So now, Mia, skip count by 13s. What do you think, kids? Skip count by 10s.
10.
I want to try 10s. Now, Robert's, you're not rolling your eyes, but it's very close to that. He's thinking, I can do 13s. Not really, okay? I know you can do 13s, but I want to show you what happens if you do 10s, okay? And that goes for a lot of you out there that know how to do this already. So if I skip count by 10s, okay, 10, 20,
30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90.
what number's closest to 91 without going over?
90.
But I rounded down.
80. You can't
So-
do that. You have to.
So should we try a 9 or try an 8?
8.
Let's try an 8, okay? Now somewhere over to the side, maybe right over here. No, we'll do it over here. I'm going to do 13 times 8. Let's see if I'm even close. Everybody do it. Do it.
I already did it.
You have 13 times 8 on your paper.
But I've got
Well, I don't care what the right answer is. I'm teaching you a strategy. What'd you get when you did 13 times 8? 104. Can I try an 8 then?
Yeah.
No, why not? Because 104 is too high. So what should we try now?
13 times 9.
13 times 7. Oh, this is looking good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what's the answer to 13 times 7? Okay, so can I finish teaching? Now that's on my video. So the reason I wanted you to see this is I want you to see the value of doing the multiplication over to the side. If you round a number and you're not sure, do your multiplication over to the side or on a piece of scrap paper till you find the correct number. Does that make sense? Okay, so my answer here is what? 0. Okay, so now we know that there are 7 units or boxes, right? And we know that 1 unit equals what? $15. Now, on the last test, we had a little bit of trouble writing dollars and cents. So you need to make sure you do this correctly, okay? So if I have to figure out 7 units, Robert, what am I going to multiply 7 times?
Times 15.
7 times 15, but I think we can do that in our head because we know how to count by 15s. So let's count by 15s. You tell me what to write, and you write it while I do it. 15,
30,
45,
60, 75, 90, 105.
Okay, so is that 7 numbers?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the total amount of money for these 91 cupcakes is $105. And that's how you write it with dollars and cents. On the last test, we had people putting a dollar sign at the end, kind of like you do the cent sign. So I want to make sure we all realize how to write that.